So there's one little problem. Some of you have that little problem. You forgot to convert the background layer into layer 0, and then you don't see the transparency. You see a plain color here. It's not a problem, in fact. It's not a problem if you have plain color. It's just because you forgot to convert the background layer into layer 0. Then it does not have transparency. The background layer cannot have transparency. But it's not a problem. It will work for you. The rest of the exercise will work for you, no problem. Okay, so now you will create a new layer on top of the layer with the color. And in that new layer, you put a gradient now on all of the layer. Don't lock the transparency, otherwise you will not be able to put any pixel onto that layer, of course. You don't lock the transparency of that layer. Okay, good. And then you will ask for the pixels here to display only where pixels are on the underneath layer. So the gradient pixels will display only where there are pixels in layer 1. And you use the Alt key and you make the mouse move between both layers. Don't push any button unless you see that little sign. Then you push the button of the mouse. Don't move the mouse while you're pushing the button. That's the way. So with the Alt key on the keyboard, you make the mouse move between both layers. And when you see this little sign, you click without moving the mouse. So it's a clipping of the pixels here onto those pixels. And this is what you have, a gradient. So with that layer, with that layer filled with a gradient, it is active. You are able to resize, move the gradient. One thing you could not do before with the first method. But now, with this method, you are able to grab the move tool and move the gradient. That's why we increased the size of the canvas. Okay. You may also use the Ctrl-T, the transform tool, and rotate, resize that way. Okay, I think it's good like that, the coach. So I apply the transform. You save the file. And now comes the most important part. It is the break.